fifth season of Star Trek Lower Decks is out, and it's already off to an amazing start. They have got 5 episodes under their belt so far, and let me tell you, this season is bringing the heat. The crew has some fresh faces now, which is super exciting, and the writers have cooked up some crazy new twists and even better storylines. But some sad news, this is going to be the final season of Lower Decks. Yep, that's right, no more new episodes after this one. It is really sad, but let us tell you why there won't be a Star Trek Lower Decks Season 6. The changing economics of streaming subscriptions. In the past, the traditional television model revolved around selling commercial airtime during shows. Even as a show's ratings declined over time, it could still maintain a loyal core audience, making the commercial time lucrative. Once a show's commercial value diminished, networks would then make the decision to cancel it. However, the streaming era has fundamentally changed this dynamic. While many streaming services do still incorporate ads, the primary driver of revenue is now encouraging new subscriber signups. And this model, shows in their 5th season or beyond, do not generate the same level of excitement for attracting new subscribers, regardless of their quality or production costs. The streaming conundrum: short-term gains versus long-term sustainability. Streaming services are often focused on short-term subscriber growth metrics, with the assumption that building a large subscriber base will eventually lead to long-term profitability. This has led to a mentality of prioritizing new signups over retaining existing subscribers. Streamers celebrate each new subscriber as recurring revenue, but fail to recognize that without a robust back catalog of content, subscribers are quick to cancel their subscriptions once they exhaust the available programming. Subscribers have repeatedly expressed their desire for streaming services to offer compelling long-term value propositions, but the industry's focus on short-term growth has led to a disconnect. Many streaming services continue to be surprised by the lack of profitability despite the industry's reliance on projections and data-driven decision-making. Paramount's approach to Star Trek Lower Decks. It is within this evolving streaming landscape that Paramount Plus has made the decision to conclude Star Trek Lower Decks after its 5th season. While the animated series has maintained a dedicated fan base, it has not generated the same level of subscriber growth as some of Paramount Plus's other Star Trek shows, such as the highly anticipated 3rd season of Star Trek Picard or the success of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Paramount Plus has opted to focus its resources on a select few high-profile Star Trek projects, including the upcoming live-action series Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which features an impressive cast. This strategic shift aligns with the broader industry trend of prioritizing subscriber acquisition over long-term content retention, even for relatively cost-effective animated series like Lower Decks. Can Star Trek Lower Decks find a new home? The show's producers have been careful to say that Season 5 will be the last on Paramount Plus, hinting that Lower Decks could potentially continue elsewhere. There are examples of other canceled shows like Futurama that found new life on different networks and streaming services. The Star Trek series Prodigy is a recent example. After Paramount Plus canceled it, a dedicated fan campaign helped get the show picked up by Netflix. If the fans of Lower Decks can show the same passionate support, there is a chance the series could find a new streaming home. The show's impressive 5-season run and dedicated fan base may make it an attractive option for other platforms looking to expand their Star Trek offerings. Ultimately, the future of Lower Decks might be in the hands of its fans. A strong, organized effort to demonstrate the continued demand for the series could be the key to ensuring the adventures of the USS Cerritos crew don't come to an end. Mike McMahon clarifies his views on chances for another Star Trek Lower Decks season pickup. McMahon clarified that he was never overly positive about getting additional seasons after the previous one, saying, "I always worry." He explained, "You never know, especially in streaming, you get 3 seasons and then you hope for the algorithm, and I am not feeling less positive now." He noted that the article had a different tone than his actual comments, where he simply said he is always concerned when a show is not guaranteed to continue. Despite the uncertainty, McMahon is currently writing the 5th season of Lower Decks, which he describes as crazy and something that he is so pumped about. He encouraged fans not to worry that the show is going away, but rather to celebrate it while they can, as you can only experience it for the first time once. However, McMahon remains realistic, reminding fans that continued viewership and support is crucial to potentially securing a 6th season. He explained this stuff is never a guarantee, and the only thing that helps me is if you guys are all saying it's great and people are watching it, and you guys are bringing in new viewers. How Star Trek Lower Decks' final season sets up future stories. In an interview with Screen Rant, showrunner Mike McMahon opened up about the show's final season. While he didn't want to develop a goodbye season, he ultimately helped create a series of episodes that lacked any sense of finality. As McMahon put it, "I was a big baby. I didn't want to do a final season. That felt like a big goodbye kind of thing. And then, as it was going, as we were writing it, that felt unfair to fans. Instead, this season is all about continuing the great Star Trek stories and comedy that fans have come to expect from Lower Decks. But as the season comes to a close, it won't feel like a hard ending. As McMahon explained, Lower Decks the show is one era for these characters. They were there before, and they're going to go on and do all sorts of interesting stuff after. So while this may be the end of the Lower Decks series, it's not the last that we will see of these characters. There are hints of the awesome stuff they'll get up to next, leaving the door open for a potential revival down the line. The cast of Star Trek Lower Decks calls for more seasons until we are dust in the ground. The cast of Star Trek Lower Decks is voicing their desire for the show to continue beyond its upcoming 5th and final season. The animated series is set to wrap up its run on Paramount Plus, but the actors are not ready to say goodbye to their beloved characters just yet. In an exclusive interview with RadioTimes.com, the cast expressed their enthusiasm for the show and their hope that it will live on. Eugene Cordero, who voices the character Ensign Rutherford, said, "It feels great, and it feels like it could keep going." Jack Quaid, who plays Ensign Boimler, took it a step further, declaring, "I'll play Boimler for 17 more years until I can't do the Boimler scream anymore." Tawny Newsome, who voices the lead character of Ensign Mariner, echoed the sentiment, saying, "We will do this show until we're dust in the ground." I think Star Trek Lower Decks isn't dead yet. The premise of Star Trek Lower Decks, which focuses on the junior officers of Starfleet, has a relatively limited lifespan. As the show's main characters inevitably get promoted, the concept of Lower Decks would no longer apply. However, this could present an opportunity for a soft reboot or sequel series that builds upon the established characters and story. One possibility that has been suggested is a show titled Star Trek Middle Decks, or Star Trek Cerritos, which would continue the narrative while introducing a new class of Starfleet ensigns. This would allow the beloved characters from Lower Decks, such as Lieutenants Beckett Mariner, Brad Boimler, Devon Attendee, and Samantha Rutherford, to take on mentorship roles, while also creating a new jumping-on point for curious fans. The shift to a new title and premise could be the secret to keeping the Star Trek Lower Decks story alive, even as the original series comes to a close. In the ever-evolving streaming landscape where the focus is often on generating buzz with new content, a Middle Decks or Cerritos series could be pitched as a fresh start, while still capitalizing on the established fan base and creative talent behind Lower Decks. Furthermore, the TNG era setting of Star Trek Lower Decks is an important factor to consider. With no other announced plans for 24th century Star Trek shows, an animated continuation or spin-off could provide a way to keep this beloved era of the franchise alive and relevant. The relative affordability of animation compared to live action could also make it an attractive option for Paramount Plus to explore. One fan said, "Hey, official Star Trek channel people, please pass on to the higher-ups that none of us want Lower Decks to end. Please, thank you." While another said, "So excited for the 5th season, so very, very disappointed it won't run for more. Lower Decks are amazing." And as we keep watching Season 5 of Star Trek Lower Decks, be sure to check out Star Trek Section 31 trailer first look and new details revealed.